it's just the way this generation is kind of because they went from the old school to be more together. Just always man. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys enjoy Little Man down here. Little Man is trying to hold it down. This my partner in crime. Little Man is trying to hold it down. What's up, Danielle Barris? What's up, OG? What's up, Vandal? Little Man is trying to hold it down. Shout out to Little Man here. I call him Little Junior. I call him Little Junior. He was holding it down for me. Little Man was holding it down. Yeah. Yeah. Little Man is holding it down. He was holding it down for me. Oh, yeah. Little Man was holding it down. All right, guys. Um, sorry I was a little bit late. I went grocery shopping again and debating on some other stuff what I could do, but um I am going to go live again um tomorrow. Probably tomorrow evening. I'm really tired and it's already Friday anyway, so I'm finally off from work and we are going to be doing another audio clip. I'm going to go live on the other channel. If you guys are having issues with the sound, you guys see me, I'm gonna have two lives open. And the reason I do that is to try to get as many people as I can to the live stream that I'm gonna make. And we're gonna talk about this. This is something that I don't think a lot of YouTube channels are doing. And I think now it's about time that people stop faking, stop trying to make it sweet, stop trying to make it cute, stop trying to backpedal, and really just call it out for what it is. People need to stop, you know, doing just they just need to just be real. And this is what this channel is all about. Being real and keeping it real. I had a comment tell me, I better hope my landlord doesn't see this. I don't care what she sees. I'm going to post, this is my channel, and I talk about what I want to talk about on this channel. And what I'm doing is exposing the debaucherous behavior by sharing my experience and try to give relatable experiences to those who are also going through some things in the same thing or in correlation to that. See, we have a lot of YouTube channels. They don't really um okay, hold on for a second. We have a problem here. Where is all these lies coming from? I just don't understand. But and that's what I'm here for. So I'm gonna set up live on my computer so we all can listen to this audio together. And then, of course, I'm going to give my commentary on it. It is some stuff that the crazy landlord has said that, you know, I think that everybody should hear. But in terms of knowing how entitled women are in the United States of America, and why it's not a good idea to wife up or date any of these women in America. Why is it a good idea to go to other countries and find you a decent, good woman? The only catch with that is, for those of you that have the means to do that, is you have to bring her back to the US. And upon bringing her to the US, she'll get modernized like all the other women in this country. I have seen it time and time again since being here in Alaska for a year. And I've seen it happen. I've met different types of people from different walks of life, from different countries, even countries that I've never even heard of before. So let me go ahead and close this door right quick. Be right back. In a few minutes, I'm going to start talking about. In a few minutes, I'm going to start talking about. I'm going to start cooking some stuff. So let's all get this set up because we got some things to talk about. All right, I'll put this in here and turn this TV on. Crazy. Okay. So let me see here. I try opening this up with. We're gonna try this again. Okay, we're gonna open it with. Gonna Move this over so it might. Okay, I'm gonna open this with these. All right, so we're gonna open up OBS because I don't know how to do that with Streamlabs yet, but I'll figure it out as soon as I can. Also, guys, I have a brand new T-shirt from my life story that's already launched and it's already released right now. So if you don't have one, grab you a copy of it. And what the shirts look like, I've already posted it in the post on YouTube. So if you guys want, you can scan your QR code with your phone. It'll take you to my link tree. You'll find my life story. You'll find my YouTube channel and my store, T Public. Go there and purchase you a T-shirt. If you want to support, purchase one of my T-shirts. Okay, I got some cherries today. Today's snacks. I got some Jelly Bellies. Got like 2 bags of these. You know, a lot of people say that I don't even look like I'm 37 years old. And so I asked it would be some of my coworkers and other people. And I asked them like, how old do I look to you then? They say, well, you look like you're about 20 or 18. I'm like, oh. And the fact that I get comments like that, it just proves that I take better care of my body. I take better care of myself. I'm not doing drugs. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Don't have a criminal record. Never got locked up in jail. Never got in trouble with the law enforcement. Never been through all of that. I just keep myself healthy and, I walk back and forth because my job to getting here is like a 1.3 miles. And I've been doing that for 4 days a week, walking to work and walking back. So let's get this set up. Let's get this set up because it is crazy. And they wonder why men don't want to date in 2026. But more so, we have a president now that is driving this economy to the extinction of not only going through a recession, but also trying to cause the economy to plummet it, sending money to other countries, even our tax dollars that we won't ever get to see. And we are left with a benefit with something that we can't even benefit from. Well, hard working, I went to work and come to find out that everybody's hours are getting cut. Even people who are working 20 plus hours or 72 hours plus, they're getting their hours cut. You know, the jobs are overworking their employees and not paying them enough. And then on top of that, especially the people who are cashiers are getting burnt out. They got to deal with people every day in these grocery stores. They got to use coupons and they got to try to, you know, do a lot of maneuvers just so that people can get items. You got people that go in grocery stores and they put items in places that they don't belong. They go and order something from the deli and then they leave it somewhere else on the shelf. I mean, if you know you can't afford it, put it back where you found it. Don't just go and buy something and then leave it sitting somewhere if you can't afford it. But, you have people that do that. And it's just more work for other people because we have to do stuff to make sure that the customers get what they need, but also no complaints about items being put in different places that this shouldn't belong. Man, I've been talking about this job crisis stuff for the past, I don't know, maybe month, 2 months, and it doesn't seem like things are getting any better than what it's supposed to be getting. And I sat back and I just started reflecting. I started thinking about this. When you're working a job, you're building the future of that company. When you're working a job, these jobs are built to break you. They are built to work you down, to overwork you. That's what these jobs are built to do. These jobs is not meant and set up for you to get ahead in life. And you can tell by looking at people every day, telling them, I go to my job every day, and everybody that comes in dreads to work every day are like zombies. They're just not happy. They're just exhausted, tired. Then people who have to work two jobs, they don't get no days off. They're working so many hours per week, working themselves to death. I've done it before. I know what it's like. It's not fun. And it's not fun when you have to have two sources of income just to make it because everything is so high that, as I said before, the jobs are not keeping up with the cost of living. The only thing these jobs are doing is they're overworking their employees to keep the business going. And realizing that the only thing that you're doing is working to pay bills. That's all you're doing in the United States. People have secrets and other workarounds, and they won't even put you on nothing. Be like, hey man, I just made this much money and blah blah blah. Hey, put me on something. They're not gonna do it because they don't want you to ruin what they have going on. So they keep all the secrets to themselves. When we're living in a time where everybody wants to make money, everybody wants to do something, jobs are really getting tough out here. People are stuck working jobs that they don't even like, but the only reason they stay at those jobs is because barely any of these places are hiring. And the place they apply for, it just they keep getting turned down. And you got to realize too, and that's a lot of things that people, a lot of situations that people don't realize that these jobs are not. They basically are. You have AI system that are looking at your you have the AI system that are looking at your resume, not a human being. That's why you get those rejection emails. And it is very tiring. I think that people should work 6 hours instead of 40 plus hours. And the reason is because working 6 hours is good enough. Because if you're working 40 hours and you working 10 hours, 12 hours, or even more than 12 hours, the only thing you do is the money that you do get that's cut out of your check, you ain't gonna be able to see it because it's gonna go straight to bills at this point. And then at this point, you know, now you're back to square one. Then you gotta work all those hours all over again. And it's even tough for jobs that pay every 2 weeks. You gotta wait every 2 weeks for a paycheck. And then when you get it, you ain't gonna be able to see it. And even if you do have some money left, you don't even have no energy to do anything else. And that's not the way to live. That's not the way to live life. You're not supposed to work to live. You're supposed to be living to work, or the other way around. However, you guys get the point. But with everything that's going on, it's just dealing with people. It's like a needle in a haystack. And, you just have to, you keep dealing with things that, and putting, especially if you're in a position and you really can use the help, you know, and you don't have no family, you ain't got no support system that can help you out. But, you know, when a female is going through the same situation, you know, they they get all the sympathy in the world just because she's a female. So we're gonna get this set up. And it's just like everybody on these jobs, they look like dead zombies of the living dead. And most of them, like, even the managers are ordering people around, telling them to do this and go do that, go fix this and go fix that, go, it's just, they're just all over the place. No one, okay, if we don't clock out, we're going to get a write up. Unless if the manager proves that we were working over 9 hours or 6 hours, which they're not going to pay you no overtime. But they want you to come in and fill the gap. There'll be times that you be the only person on the job, and you're the only person on the job working. Everybody else called out. That means you gotta cook, you got to serve the customers, you gotta go and present with the customers. You gotta do everything. Then you're backed up with traffic and there's nobody that can help you. Or for those of you that work in retail, and you're the only cashier or you working at the deli, bakery, whatever, and you got to do everything by yourself. Nobody to help you. The managers are walking around telling you and trying to hustle you and telling you to do this and do that. And you just get to the point you're like, I can't do this no more. I mean, I get it. It's more money, but what do you value most? Money or your health. And there are some situations where you deal with people who they go around saying you're broke, especially as men, and it's so much pressure on the men to always pay for everything. When your family or wife is also supposed to be your support system. Now, there's a difference in being broke and not doing anything about it at all, and being broke, but you're actually trying to put in the effort. You're trying to make some moves. And you actually working towards trying to get caught up on everything. I went to the grocery store today. Like I said, use the awards card. I paid $115 just for 7 items. And the cashier told me that the items that I even got, she was like, I don't even understand because the items you're getting, it shouldn't even be even really worth that much. And I said, yeah, that just lets you know the awards card don't even work. But they're persuading people into using it. You know, when you go to the grocery store, you got to use an awards card to get a discount on prices and groceries that you get. They don't work because the way they set the prices, they set up the prices to where, see, this is how they do it. So let's say you go to the deli and you want to get an 8 box chicken. That's like $10.99. Okay. They'll set the discount for the same price of that chicken that you're charging it for. And then the rotisserie chicken, I would say is around maybe like $15.99, right? You okay, so then when you buy something, even if you buy some potato wedges that's on top of that, it's still gonna go down to $15.99. It ain't gonna go any lower than $15.99. That's the way they set these prices. It's still too expensive. But what they doing is, however, how like let's say you get $82.46 worth of groceries, right? And you're only getting like maybe 10 items. Then when you use that awards card, it'll go all the way down to like 700 and I don't know about maybe $62.48. That's still too much. And the cashier told me, she said, the stuff that you're buying shouldn't even really add up to that much because you don't really buy that much stuff. I don't. I just bought some bananas, got some cherries, I got two meats, and I got a box of Barilla noodles because I'm about to make some hamburger helper with some taco sauce on it. You know, I got some Lipton's beef and onion mix. I got like 2 boxes of them. Then I got half of the ball of cabbage. I bought that last week, but it's just everything is so expensive. Then you gotta pay rent. I gotta pay rent. I gotta pay my phone bill. It's crazy, man. We're literally living in a country where we're about to get into a recession. We're already in a recession. The only thing now is for the economy to crash. Because at this point, at the rate that things are going right now, it's getting worse. And the president that everybody done fought tooth and nail to get in office, he even talked about taking income off of, payroll. But then at the end of the day, what people don't look at is in the government, there's so much like loopholes and rabbit holes that you can go down under. They can easily walk around that. So what they're doing is they sit up there and okay, so they want taxes off payroll. But at the same time, they can just overprice everything and raise up the prices. And at the same time, when they raise up the prices, even without taxes that's taken off the payroll, you still paying so much because you got the jobs, the other corporations is getting greedy, they taking more money out of your paycheck secretly. And sometimes it don't probably don't even be on your payroll. You got to look at your pay stubs every time you get paid. You got to look at it and it be like all this wall full of shit, full of stuff that you trying to look at. You be looking at it like, cause you be looking at your paycheck. You be looking at it like this. Okay, I got paid. Let me see. I got paid yesterday. They deducted $6.28. Okay, that's taxes taken out. Okay, my gross is, let's see, like 685. Let me see. Okay, I don't understand this. Let's see. Cause see, my paycheck was at, you know, was at $348.76. But then it went up to like $495.22. And then it turns down. Next thing you know, your check done went down to a whole nother amount. So your check it started fluctuating. And you just sitting up here trying to add all these numbers up because you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Why is my paycheck is being cut down? I done spoke to the cashiers. They working their asses off up there. Them ladies told me, they said, yeah, they cutting our checks too. We don't get paid for much for doing the work that we do. It doesn't matter what job you work. It can be a trucking company or whatever. These jobs are cutting their paychecks now. But you got people that just so damn stupid they can't even understand it. And I told my buddy Gerald, shout out to him if he's watching this. I said, look, man, I get it. You want to trade. You want to start investing. That's good. But what I also told him, don't just don't just be putting your eggs all into one basket because you don't know when the money you put in is gonna pop out. And the way the economy is right now, the investing right now is probably not a good time because everything is going down. Everything is going down because half of these corporations is just sucking the life out of everybody, especially people who work at these companies. You got people getting laid off, and the people that are staying, they just sucking everything else out of you. It's like a damn leech. Jobs are like leeches. They will expect you to work. They will work the crap out of you. They don't care about your health. Then at the same time, they don't even pay you for the hours that you did work. Now you got to try to stretch out your nickels and dimes. You got to talk, make a negotiate with the landlord, try to figure something out, you know, letting her know, hey, I'm responsible, but I'm trying to do this. The landlord ain't trying to hear that shit. They all they care about is the bottom line. They don't give a damn about your problems and what you going through. They like either pay or get the hell out of my house or get the hell out of that apartment. Right or wrong. Somebody speak to me. And then you try to talk to your mom or your father or whoever, and you know how religious these parents are. You know what they tell you? Well, just pray. Just pick up your Bible and read. Read Psalms 91. Read Book of Proverbs. Get on your knees and pray. Seek God and lead not on to your own understanding. All of that bull crap. When really, you ain't sitting up there trying to figure out or to get told that you gotta read that you gotta read the Bible. You trying to get a breakthrough. And I know I'm not the only one that's going through this shit. I know y'all are going through it. You know, some of y'all probably want to go to the movies and go see He-Man, or probably go see that new Mortal Kombat 2 movie that came out, but you can't even do it because what? Your money just went all the way towards bills. It's just a constant rinse, wash, and repeat every day. You got to deal with managers. I'm telling you, man, I hate these jobs. I hate working for somebody else's company. Then I got to always figure out, and I'm pretty sure y'all go through it. Gotta always shout out to Crimson Destroyer. You gotta always figure out. And shout out to Nature, Nature and Metaphysics 234. Welcome to the chat. Thank you guys for the like and support. I know I'm not the only one going through this. You know, when this economy is going, it's crashing, it's getting, it's on the edge of a cliff right now. And see, the reason I rant and I talk about these things is because this is stuff that people need to hear. People get tired of, you know, people talking about these situations, and then they try to put all these disclaimers and talking about, I'm not trying to be, you know, um, I'm not trying to be negative and I'm not trying to do this and that. I'm just saying this, and that, and, the third, and, blah, blah, blah. No, call it out the way it is. Viewers are looking for people who can speak on this stuff. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. We can only control what we can control. But if we don't speak about it and keep speaking on it, and then people just sit here and they just let it quietly happen, it's going to keep happening and it's going to keep getting worse until people speak out on it. Happy Friday to you, Danielle Bearsport. It's going to continue to get worse. It's not going to get any better. People's hours are getting cut. Not it's for every job. You got these corporations that are getting so greedy that they will work you to the last drop. Call you on your phone. Hey, are you ready? Are you ready? Can you come in at like 12 to 9? You have to really think about that shit for a minute because you thinking like I just worked like 40, 16 hours. I just worked I just worked overtime yesterday. He wants me to call me on my day. Then you working 5 days a week. You only get 2 days off. You're like, damn, okay. But then I gotta go back to work and I gotta do this shit all over again. It's crazy. Then you got some of these people in America, they don't even give a shit about their own economy. They don't give a damn about what's going on around them. But then the moment you talk shit about America and how you going to another country, you know what they'll say? Well, what you doing here? What's taking you so long? Why you can't just pack up and leave? Who's stopping you? But then my thing is, if you willing to speak out against that, how come you can't speak out against how this country is going into the damn toilet right now? And the government's going down so many rabbit holes that you can count off your fingers and toes. People don't even speak out on what's going on. But then the moment you talk about going to another country, what's taking you so long? Who's stopping you? Why you can't just leave? So I work at the deli, right? And for those of you that work at a fast food restaurant or work at a retail deli or anywhere, you guys understand exactly what I'm going with this. Some of these people, they talk so low when they ready to order something. I don't know what it is. They sitting up there. I'm like, what you say now? Did you want it like, did you want it a four-piece? Like they talk so low, especially the older ladies. I have to literally come around the desk and kind of put my ear because I can't hear nothing they saying. And some of them they come in and they can't even speak English very well. They speak in another language to another person, and I'm just sitting up here like, okay, so what's it gonna be? What you guys gonna do? Then another customer comes in and talk about how she don't even know what she wants. She just want two pieces of chicken. I say, well, what kind of piece of chicken? Do you want the leg? Do you want the thigh? Do you want the chicken wing? Do you want what? What is that over there? That's a breast. Okay, so what about this over here? Oh, that is a those are hot wings. Those are spicy wings. I thought they were hot wings. They're the same thing. What about that over there? Okay, that's like original wings. Can I just get a pound? I'm like, well, how many do you want? Because a pound could be anything. A pound can be any amount. I don't know. I can't really figure it out. It's just a pound. I mean, you got to tell me how many you want. You guys know what I'm talking about. When you go to the grocery store and you go to the deli and they got these small, they got these small chicken wings, right? I'm really okay. What's up, Adam? Adam reads and see. I'm really struggling, my guy. My washer just broke down. Oh shit. I'm broke till next Friday. Poor me. Hey man, look, this is what I said earlier. It ain't nothing wrong with being broke. Cause guess what? Like, there's a difference in a person that's striving and they doing what they can, they're pinching nickels to get by, and a person that's broke and just literally not doing anything about their situation. That's the difference. Shit breaks. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, time you trying to build up your money, you got a plan set up, something else breaks. It could be your washer, your refrigerator's not cooling down your food, your refrigerator freezer is messed up, you know, then the toilet ain't working because it ain't flushing all the way like it used to. You gotta pay somebody to do that. You gotta put some more insulator in your house. You gotta you know what I'm saying? Like some break and you don't even know. And you gotta fix it. And it sucks. So that's like more money that's coming out of your pocket, especially if you get paid every 2 weeks. Especially if you get paid every 2 weeks. Just another credit card charge. That's what I'm saying. My glasses broke the week. Oh man. It's like no matter what you try to do, something always happens. Every damn time. Something always happens. Always. No matter how hard it just feels like no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try to do what you need to do, something always happens. I had a guy that said that he got a car, but his transmission done broke down when he got to work today. So now he got to try to figure out what he's gonna do to get that working. Then when you driving, you at the gas station pumping, and you try to crank the car up, now something wrong with the motor. So now you gotta try to push that motherfucker all the way to your house. So that shit done stop by the time you get to the stoplight. And now you gotta get some help and get some, and you can't get nobody to tow it, cause then that's gonna cost you another $300+ to get that towed to your house. And every time when you think that you're already covered, it's always gonna be something else. If it ain't one thing, it's always something else coming. There's always something else happening. These are all 500, 600 ordeals. Yeah. And then these jobs ain't even paying you what they should be paying you, but they expect you to get up and come in because somebody else called out. So now when they get you in, you doing their job and somebody else's job. Then when it's time to shut down and you closing, they want you to do everything while the other person gets to go home an hour early before you do. So now you stuck washing dishes, cleaning the oil with fresh oil for the stove. Then you gotta mop the you gotta mop the lobby, if the trash is in the lobby, clean the bathrooms out. You gotta do everything. That ain't fun. That ain't fun at all. Just like my manager told me he want me to go and learn how to cook chicken next week in case if everybody decide to call out and I'm the only one here. I'm like, the devil is a lie. Cause I'd be damned if I come into work that day. I know that much. Shit. They can call out if they want to. Don't expect my ass to show up. Because that's what these jobs do. These jobs is meant to break you. These jobs are meant to make you crash out. And then, when you tell somebody something like this, they be like, hey man, just don't let them get to you. Just don't let this job get to you. You just working to go home. But what they don't understand is it's more to it than just working a job and going home. You got to deal with the bullshit that happens every damn day at work. You got to deal with a customer that's gossiping about you. Then you got the managers just standing in the shadows, breathing down your neck, telling you the list of ridiculous stuff that you got to do, knowing that it ain't nothing but the three of y'all that's trying to keep everything running. Now he want to snatch you and put you all the way in the back room just to break down some boxes, stuff that he could do himself. But people get so entitled on these jobs that they think that they don't have to do anything. They will try to use you to do all of their work and then your job at the same time because they want to go home. They don't want to be at work. So they'll try to use you. You're such a okay. Let me see here. If you have a good work ethic, that's green light that tend to yeah, exactly. If you working and you doing the best that you can, they'll use you and work the shit out of you. And by the time you done working, they're gonna work the shit out of you again. We already had a manager that walked out a week ago because he was doing everybody else's job, another manager's job, his job, and then trying to train somebody at the same time. And he wasn't even getting the hours that he was supposed to be getting of all of them days that he was working. This man walked out. I was told about it a week ago. This man walked out. So if he walked out, right, and he did everything that he was supposed to do, and then some, they don't overwork that man. And these people don't care. I tell everybody, do not put your trust in these jobs. These corporations are getting more and more greedier by the minute, and they don't care nothing about you. They don't care about your health, nothing. I always encourage people pick up a skill and work. Do something that you enjoy doing. Chase after your dreams and stop building theirs. That's what I have on the back of my new t-shirts that I made. Go check out my YouTube post. If you want to buy one, scan the QR code. It's called the 9 to 5 Trap. And on the back of it, it says stop building someone else's dreams and build yours. If y'all are interested. Okay, let me see. Mike Blair reads, just wanted to say you're such a kind person and it really shows in your videos. You're doing an amazing job. Keep up the great work. Appreciate that, Mike Blair, and I appreciate the support. Okay, Adam reads, I like to read comments. So Adam reads, if you have good work ethic, that's a green light to get leaned on excessively. Yeah, that's right. Just like I got a coworker right now. He's new. They when they taught him how to cook, he said he don't even get no days off. They keep calling him in for work. I'm like, you gonna have to put your foot down. You have to do something. I get it. You need the money, but that's crazy. That this man do not get no days off whatsoever. This man that they calling him every day, wanting him to cook some chicken because I work at the deli. They want him to cook. Then they want me to cook. I'm like, no, because if I start cooking, y'all gonna want me up there. Hell no. What's going on, Vandal? I'm doing okay. How about you? Let's see. Bro, you need to change your field of work, bro, and go find a new career. Go buy you a lawnmower and start your own business. You sound like a quitter. You need to flip the script, bro. Well, here's the thing. There's a difference in sounding like a quitter and a person that recognizes that these corporations and jobs don't care about you. They overwork you or underpay. What I'm doing right here, YouTube, ranting and relatable experiences to other people. This is my job. YouTube is a business. And right now, lawnmowers is too damn expensive. Everything is up in price, even vehicles. That's a good strat, but doing lawnmower, that's not for me. I'm not doing that. And plus, I'm allergic to the grass. I ain't finna do that. This here is what something that I'm doing that I enjoy doing. is talking to people about relatable experiences. Mike Blair. See, it's easy to flip the script and tell people, but you got to understand too, Mike, people are trying that. But you got so many scammers out here, and you got so many people that, because you got to think about it. You think that not everybody else has thought about that cutting grass. Everybody's That's a lot. That's a lot of people I've seen doing that. But I'm a YouTuber. Yes, I work a part-time job, but I'm also a YouTuber and I'm striving to be a full-time YouTuber. So yes, I am flipping the script. And it's a work in progress, slowly but surely. And I'd rather do content than to be going out mowing grass and doing all that other crazy stuff. Because like I said again, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. I'm not trying to be out there in that sun dealing with that. No. I mean, that'll work for somebody else, but not for me. What's going on, Jalen? Unless you get over 100K sub, there's no real money to be made off YouTube. Yeah, that's true, but it's also doable. Some people can get, some people can blow up fast, and some people it just takes time. But that's why you have to show up. It's just like a job, like you go into your regular job. You have to show up, right? You have to punch that clock and you have to go to work. So it's the same thing with YouTube. You got to show up, you got to keep posting, you got to be consistent. Now, when I say consistent, that doesn't mean do it every day, but be consistent and post when you can post. And if you're not doing that, then of course you're not going to make any real money on YouTube. But as you see, I'm live, I'm showing up. I put in the post on YouTube, letting you guys know when I go live, and that's it. I work at 9 a.m. and it's 2. I try my best to sleep. Catch you next time, my guy. All right, Adam, take care of yourself, bro. Try to get as much rest you can, eat, and just if you can, try to make some money online because or something that you can find that because that's what everybody's doing. That's what I'm doing. But the thing is, you can also get 500 subs and still make money on YouTube. And in most cases, you don't really need 100K subs to make money on YouTube or to wait for monetization. You can also start a business, which I already got a business started. I'm selling merchandise, I'm selling t shirt designs that I myself created. I'm doing a lot of stuff. It's up to the people if they want to buy the t shirts or whatever they want to do. Support links is there. That's a business. The people who make real money off YouTube invest over 10 hours a day on into their channel. Yeah, but you gotta understand too, not everybody can invest that many hours. You got people that are starting out and people who are already probably just working a job and they just working and scheduling, but you can also schedule your videos too. And what people do is they build up videos so when they get ready to post it, they'll schedule it on the times that they can get it post. That's what I've been doing. It's doable. It seemed like they spend 10 hours. They don't spend 10 hours. What they do is they spend 10 hours making more videos and they schedule it for it to come out. And they always schedule it when everybody gets on YouTube because those are the days that everybody gets on YouTube. It can be 3 o'clock p.m., it can be 12 o'clock p.m., it can be, the time varies, but it's usually between 12 or 3 o'clock. That's what I try to do anyway. I got a bunch of YouTube shorts for this channel. I haven't even posted yet. I post a few, and I still got a bunch of them. But what I do is I schedule them. So there are ways to grow on YouTube. There are ways to be consistent. And the thing is, my channel hasn't gotten to the right people yet. That's the only thing. And I think I'm gonna go live. I think I'm gonna go live on the software another time. Probably tomorrow. Right now it's like 104. And but the money is there. The money is there. You can also make a lot of money doing shorts. And I witnessed that firsthand. I witnessed it firsthand. I witnessed it firsthand. So it's doable. You just have to put in the work. Because when you put in the work, you get better results. But if you don't put in the work, you don't get any results. I'm sure you and I can agree on that. YouTube is like is a business. It's a job. You got to show up. If you don't show up, no subscribers, no views, no watch time, no nothing. It all comes down to making effort. When you continue to make the effort, results will come. If you don't put in the effort, then you're not going to get any results. Okay. But like I said before, if you don't put in the results, then you're not going to get any effort. You're not going to get any results. It's just simple as that. You know, but it's doable. Because if you got other people that are growing on YouTube, if anybody can grow on YouTube, if you got bigger YouTubers, anybody can grow on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying YouTube is on easy mode, but what I am saying is it is possible and it is doable. And the reason I do YouTube because I love to do YouTube. I like to interact with my audience. I like to talk about real stuff that's happening that not a lot of YouTubers are talking about. I talk about the nitty gritty stuff that goes on for the way it is, without all the disclaimers, without all this other stuff. My cousin been doing YouTube for 8 years, 63K subs. His biggest check was 1,900. My auntie told him it's time to get a real job. Here's the thing: your auntie doesn't really understand that YouTube is a business. If he's making that much money from YouTube, he don't need no job. Why in the world would you want to enslave telling your telling telling that man to go get a job? This man doing good on his channel. And you know why he got those 63K subs? He put in 8 years of work.
Shout out to him. Shout out to your cousin, man. He put in the damn work. My hat goes off to him. You make sure you tell him that. My life story says, Chaos says, congratulations. I like that. That's what happens when you put in that work. He's living at home. Okay. Hey, man, congratulations to your cousin, man. He putting in that work. That's what I'm talking about. I told you, it's doable. Anybody can grow on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying YouTube is on easy mode, but you can grow on YouTube. Anybody can do it. You just have to show up. YouTube is like a business. It is a job. You have to show up and do content. That's what I'm doing. And I also do long form videos. You can plan it out. You can schedule your videos and how you want your videos to go out. Like if you want your videos to come out 3 o'clock or 12:45 or whatever. You see what I'm saying? There's ways to do it. But the telling that man he needs to get a job, he don't need no damn job. Why are you gonna tell that man to go work for these greedy corporations that'll work you to the bone, that'll overwork you? My thing is what he can do, sell merchandise, sell some merch. He can do Fiverr, he can do commissions on the side, whatever he's skilled in. There are ways to make money. You ain't gotta work no job to make no to just to get paid. Cause these jobs are gonna underpay you anyway. But they're gonna turn around and overwork you, call your phone telling you, can you come in at this time and that time? Then you gotta deal with coworkers looking for reasons to get you fired. And then they talking about writing you up and all of this stuff. Then when you ask for help, who wants to deal with all of that? Who wants to deal with all of that? I don't want to deal with all of that. I certainly don't want to deal with all of that. Hey man, tell your cousin, my hat goes off to you, man. Putting in that work. That's what I'm talking about. Putting in that work. I'm telling you. I do encourage everybody to start a YouTube channel. Treat it like a business. Enjoy what you're doing, but treat it like a business. Shoot, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting in that work. I'm trying to get monetized. Because I like to sit here and talk about some real shit that's going on right now. We ain't got time for no games over here. I done been through hell and hot water and back. Let's see. Jalen reads, man, if he wasn't living in my mom auntie's house, still eating her food, paying no bills. Man, if he wasn't living in my auntie's house, still eating her food, paying no bills, YouTube not going to be enough for him to survive. It's not going to be enough to survive. That's why you have to find other sources of income that you can fall back on. You know, now, YouTube does make money, and the sky's the limit of how much money you can make. But it's always good to find another source of income. That's what I told my buddy Gerald because he wants to trade and invest, and he's trying to get that to pop off, which is good. But at the same time, you have to really look at this realistically. Like the economy is bad right now, and I told him, he's very talented. He knows how to fix it. He knows how to build computers. He knows how to make music. This man can do things I've never seen him do before. And this was a buddy of mine that I used to work for at Amazon. And I told him, like, put that skill to use, man. Make you some income on the side. And then try to find another source of income. And a lot of people, what he can do is he can use YouTube to advertise his business, rather if it's a merch store or something he does in Fiverr. Fiverr is a website you can go to do commissions for other people. He can use that to promote his business. That's what everybody else on YouTube does. They don't wait for monetization. That's what I'm doing. I got a merchandise business. I got merchandise for this channel. And I just made a t-shirt yesterday. It's morning time, my time, because I'm in Alaska. But I just made a t-shirt. It's called the 9 to 5 Trap. On the back of that shirt, I title it Stop building someone else's dreams and build yours. Because the thing is, if you go working for somebody else's company, you're not building your future. You're building the future of their company. You're just a slave for their company. They will overwork you. And these jobs is designed to break you. You ever notice when you go to a grocery store and you see how some of these people walk in and they looking like zombies? They look like somebody just died in their family. Depressed, miserable. These jobs of overworking these people, especially at the cashier. You ever see how these people act at the cashier? It's a lot of hard work, but it's overbearing and it's stressful. That man don't need to be working no job. Just try to find another income source. Don't depend on YouTube. YouTube is good money, but just try to get some other stuff that you can get going. So you'll have some income because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So just try to find other sources of income that you can use and and just make money off of it. You'll be surprised of how much money people are willing to pay. I don't know what your cousin is skilled in. I don't know what other stuff he likes to do, whatever. But make sure when you're doing it that you enjoy doing it. Let's see. That's what I told him. It's time to get a job. She's ready for him to grow up. Responsibility and stop living off her. I mean, my thing is he can help her with some of the bills, rather if it's internet or something like that. But my thing is instead of telling him to get a job, why not just tell him to find other ways to make money, like, to make money offline or something like that. He got YouTube. Why not just try to start a business and then he can use his YouTube channel to funnel to advertise it. He can do that. But I wouldn't even try to get nobody to work a job, especially the way this economy is right now. The way the job market is right now. No, it's bad out here now. Do you know how hard it is for people? Like, it's hard for people to get a job out here. It's hard for people to get a job out here. If he has any skills, he can make money online, other than just YouTube. Because YouTube, they pay like, I think the 22nd of every month. It's tough out there. If he's making money off YouTube, I mean, as long as he's making some money, telling him to get a job ain't gonna help. Just try to see if they could, if he's living with her. But then you also got to look at too. Times is tough right now. I mean, everything is up in price, and even if he did get a job, he ain't gonna be making that much. They're gonna these jobs are gonna overwork him from probably from 40 hours to 72 plus hours and still cut hours out of his check. Because a lot of these jobs are cutting people's hours, especially Walmart, Target, all of these companies. I wouldn't even try to go back in this crazy job market, especially if I'm making money on YouTube. Hey, or he can Do it, sell a course, teaching people how to do something. And they just got to pay like $50 if they want to get in. It's just ways you can make money online. You can do affiliate marketing where he can take products and flip it and sell it on eBay or whatever. I mean, there's ways to make money. I'm glad my mom's put me out, made me stronger, learn responsibility, learn how to survive on my own 2 feet. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, my thing is, your mother shouldn't have to put you out for you to learn that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of one of the mistakes sometimes because, that some parents make. It's like, and the reason why it's like that, and I'm going to tell you why. Private schools and public schools, they're not good places for kids anymore. But homeschooling your kids is better because you are in control of what your kids do. You are in control of what type of career, what they're engaging in, everything. Because usually kids that are homeschooled by their own parents come out to be better people, better kids. But the ones that go to public schools and private schools, they don't turn out to be better kids. But the fact that, you learned a lot of stuff and you learn responsibilities, that's good. But at the same time, times is tough. Yeah, it's good that, I mean, I wouldn't say throwing somebody else out is the best way to parent and teach people. But at the same time, families should stick together. Not just, oh, I'm gonna throw you out on the street so you can learn this and learn that. Cause you ain't gonna learn nothing out on these streets. But at the same time, we're living in a place right now where laws are being passed where you can't work on your car no more, and it's a crime if you're homeless on the streets. Donald Trump is passing a lot of bills. They already got the ISIS troops, but hey man, shout out to you. But at the same time, I believe that families are supposed to stick together, not throwing their kids out on the streets to fend for themselves. You know, and the reason I'm saying that because families need to stick together through these hard times. Because you never know when your mother needs you. She didn't throw me out. She just said it's time to get your own. I understand that, and you know, it's sad because family, you can help her out with the bills, and y'all can all live together. You know, but the thing is, rather she didn't kick you out or nothing. My thing is, it's like I think it's time for this parent and family recycle to break. And what I mean by that is it seems like the same history, the same history is repeating itself over and over and over. With families telling them, "Hey, you're 18 years old. It's time for you to start thinking about this, this, and that." Because families in other countries, they don't do their families like that. Look at the Hispanic people. even though you got dudes that are 30 years old and whatever, you got a whole big family living under one roof and they all working together. So what's wrong with other families, other races of families doing that? Why is it always got to be, you know, telling your son it's time to get out there? But guess what? They're not gonna tell the women to do that, their daughters to do that, and it's just unfair to the men. Yeah, you got to learn responsibility and stuff, but you know, telling somebody you need to figure this out and figure that out, that ain't a way to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't prepare for everything out there for the real world, but it's like at the same time, why would you have to go through that when families can stick together, you know? And then whenever you feel like, hey, I want to start on, living on my own or whatever, you can do that. I mean, it's nothing wrong with, the experience you have and going through it, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this whole cycle have to break. Families need to just stop, like, telling their kids that. Stop telling their kids, like, stuff like that, because what if something happened? She might need you. So, but hey, man, my hat goes off to you. You made it. You came out on top. But I'm gonna go live tomorrow. Well, later on this evening, because it's Alaska time. It's like 12:26 a.m. And I would love to stay on this live as long as I can, but you got people that are eavesdropping, and then you got, okay. Let me see. She did it. My granny always said, "God bless the child who has his own." Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, you have to teach a man how to fish, and he'll eat for a lifetime. But if you just telling him to just figure something out without teaching him anything, how do you expect that man to eat for a lifetime? And see, the thing is with, and this is why it's important to have both parents, the mother and the father, because the female, they don't, they can't really teach you anything because you're a man. They can only teach for the female, and they don't have the patience or they're just not built for that. You know what I mean? And this is why having a father and the parent is so important. And your granny is right. However, at the same time, it's always good to get prepared for what's out there. Because I'm sure your granny knows and seen worse, and your mother or auntie knows and seen worse. No man should be out there in the streets fending for himself. No man should have to go through that. I had both parents and grandparents. Okay. So you have both parents and grandparents, then the father should be preparing you for what's going on in the real world. Because it's important. See, having parents to prepare you, especially your father, that's important. And it's also important to have a father figure in your life, you know, to spend time with you, to get involved in things that You know what I'm saying? Life will life. Yep. Because if you ain't, I mean, if you got both parents and they ain't, you know, training you and teaching you in a way that you should go, so when you are older that is with you, instead they're telling you you're gonna have to figure this out and figure out what you're gonna do. Because I've been told by my family that abandoned me and exiled me because in a whole nother state. Mother don't talk to me anymore. Uncle don't talk to me anymore. My biological father don't even talk to me anymore, and I'm the only child he's got. They all just treated me like I don't even exist in the family anymore. Like I'm just some stranger that just came into the world off the streets. And it just got to the point I cut them all out my life because I'm thinking, why am I sitting up here dealing with a dysfunctional family that's not going to be a support system? Now, I'm not saying all families are like this, but there are people, other than myself, of course, that got dysfunctional families and people that telling them that they need to go somewhere else. And I know I'm not the only one. Chaos, I'm sorry. Your family had. Yeah, man, like I said, that's why a lot of this stuff I can relate. Been homeless for 6 years. I done did a video showcasing my car that I lost. I lost all my stuff in it. If you hadn't watched it, my family abandoned me in a whole nother state. Now I'm staying with a landlord and on the brink of, dealing with, you know, how am I gonna pay this and that? My job is cutting hours and stuff like shit is going on. And I'm not the only one that's going through it. Everybody's going through it. My uncle threw me out on the streets in a whole nother state. I don't even know half of these people that come up in this house, you know? And I say all of this to say this that I can relate. See, this channel is talking about some real shit, and I'm calling it out the way it is. I would like so many YouTube channels, and the stories that they tell, it's like the stories that they tell, they always try to add too many disclaimers. They always try to sweeten it and make it like, make it sweet and try to talk cute about it and everything. I'm not here for that. I'm here to tell you guys what's going on. I'm here to share relatable experiences that I'm going through. Talk about how these corporations and these jobs is starting to decline. These corporations is getting more greedier and greedier, working their co-workers down and not paying them enough. I'm here to talk about the cost of living is going up and the paychecks and the job salary is not keeping up with that. I'm here to talk about how relationships and dating scene is doomed. I'm here to talk about, hey, the economy is on the edge of the cliff of collapsing. You see this card? Now just imagine hanging on the edge of this card, the tip of it. Once that card drops, the economy is going to be it's going to be non-existent. I'm here to talk about how these corporations and these jobs don't care about you. But yet you still got people that telling you you need to go get a job. but they not even have any discernment and understanding how bad the economy is right now. How over 14 million Americans got laid off from their jobs, and and there's still people losing their jobs. How a lot of businesses are closing their doors. How gas prices is going up. People putting in 500 plus applications just to get in. Even people with certifications and tech degrees, they can't even get in. They get turned down left and right. Then when they have interviews, they gotta remarket themselves. They gotta retell everything, and it's devastatingly exhausting. I mean, looking for a job and applying for jobs, that's a full time job within itself. You got people like that that don't understand that. They don't understand that, if you trying to throw your child out on the streets or you telling them to figure something out, how they supposed to figure something out in a high ass economy that we living in right now? How they supposed to figure that out when jobs are cutting down on your hours? You got to keep constantly looking at your pay stubs, making sure your checks and your hours is right. How is it that you're telling your child to go out there and figure it out? Now, maybe before the pandemic, I don't know. But at the same time, you got Hispanics. They live under one roof. Everybody is doing their role. One person pay this bill, one person pay that bill, the other person pay that bill. They all make it work. How come other races can't do that? Why they gotta throw their child out on the streets to fend for themselves? Or telling them that they need to figure it out. Sending them to college, getting them in a whole lot of debt that they can never ever barely can pay within their lifetime. Then you work in a job where you don't even know what your next paycheck gonna be. If it's gonna be enough to pay your bills or it's gonna be something else. I don't think anybody wants to deal with all of that. In America, all you're doing is working to pay bills. You're not doing anything else. And all the money that you make from these jobs, you ain't gonna be able to see it. Whereas if you're working for yourself, you're getting passive income. You ain't gotta worry about what your next paycheck gonna look like. Because you know what your next paycheck gonna look like if you're working for yourself. And then you got people coming up talking about, well, well, you should just read your Bible and pray. Seek God for your help. Who cares about all of that? What they should be doing is being a blessing to you. What they should be doing is being a breakthrough. Not telling you to go read a scripture and doing all of that mess. You already know what the Bible says. You already know to pray. And what they miss out on is you got to put in the effort. You got some people that got notepads and they writing their names down. To my, I am Tarita, and I'm gonna be a millionaire. I am Tarita, and I'm a millionaire. I'm like you doing all of that, but what they're Super Mario jumping over is you gotta have. I think I might start playing scratch off tickets. Hope. Hey OG, you should probably get you a YouTube channel too, or something. Yeah, hopefully you'll win the lottery. I see a lot of people do that here in Alaska too. They go to the mall, they got one of them scratch off tickets. I don't even think they got casinos over here in Alaska. I don't think they do. I know there's one in Tennessee. I think Tennessee or Mississippi. They got the Golden Moon and the Silver Star Casino. I wonder what that looks like now, considering the way the economy is. If the economy is high as it is right now, and you still got people going to the casino, hitting the ducks, and then getting that dollar machine, trying to get them bonuses and stuff, I'd be surprised. I'll be surprised. I would be surprised. I would be surprised. I would be surprised. Jalen reads, every generation goes through the same thing. I'm Gen X. We said the same thing in the 80s. All the jobs gone overseas, but you had to adapt to find your way. Yeah, that's true. I agree with you on that. You do have to adapt. And I've been doing that already, you know? And you're not going to always be prepared for everything in this world, right? I'm just trying to remain positive. Yeah, you have to. It's difficult. I know. Yeah, you do. You have to try to be positive, but sometimes it's just difficult because you're living in a toxic country, in a toxic society. You know, and you got to deal with people that are just oblivious to what's going on around them. I mean, you can't, like I said, you can't control everything. You can only control what you can control. At the same time, it's good to be aware of all this stuff because that's what my channel is. I rant and I talk about stuff that's going on, and I share stuff in my life, stuff that everybody can relate to. Because I know I'm not the only one going through this. You know, I was talking to I don't know who I was talking to, but you guys know how churches used to be back in the 80s and the 90s. You had, like, you got kids sitting in the church. Your mother and everybody else started yelling and screaming. The pastor always saying something. Everybody throwing money on the pulpit. The pastor just walking all over it, and somebody else playing the organ. Everybody dancing and stuff, and you just like, what in the world is going on? The deacon in the back, it started. The deacon in the back started dancing. Then by the time you get ready to close, my thing is, it's like I told a friend of mine from the Philippines. I said, these churches is a business. These churches are a business. Why do you think they trying to go global? The gospel ain't about saving souls no more. It's about money. They're treating the gospel and ministry as a business, but people don't see that because they've been brainwashed all their lives going to church. I used to be just like them, but I had to step out. I had to wake up. Then, the pastor's sitting up there preaching, like he's going to have a heart attack. He got a big rag and he wiping his bald head because he's dripping with sweat. Look like he about to melt with ice cream, sweating all over the place. And then you just standing there, you're like, when am I ready to go? I'm ready to get out of here. We've been in this damn place for too damn long. You be sitting up there for almost from 6 to 10, almost 12 hours. That's the whole entire of your day. From Sunday morning, you can start worship service at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. Then you get up, you gotta stand up, you gotta talk to everybody, and while the piano is playing, y'all know what I'm talking about. Back in the 80s and 90s, when you be playing it, they be playing the piano. Y'all have to talk with everybody. They call it fellowshipping with everybody. It's like, hey, glory, hallelujah. Everybody, they treat that church just the same way they treat these jobs. They be saying glory, hallelujah. They be doing all of this glorifying stuff. Then you got to go sit down. Then you sitting there for a whole 6 hours, 6 to almost 12 hours, and the pastor just keeps on going. Then he'll talk about, oh, let me just wait. Let me just go over a couple of scriptures. He can't even say scriptures right. He'll say scriptures. And let me go and we're gonna go to Haggai chapter first one. Then we're gonna go to the book of Revelation. Then he's still going. Then he going to another different verse. Then he's like, okay, we're gonna go to the book of Job, to the third chapter. We're gonna go back to the we're gonna go back to to the book of it's you know ever notice something? Every time when I used to go to church, every time when the preacher gets up there and he tell you to open your Bibles up. He don't even tell you to open your Bibles up. Revelation chapter 6, and there was. I'm like, wait a minute, chapter 6, what? Like what verse? You didn't even say what verse it was. You want us to turn to our Bibles? Okay, but then you sitting there. But I notice that every time you start church, you ever notice they go to the book of Genesis, they go to Haggai, then they go to book of John, Luke, then Mark, then it's Revelation, then the book of Hebrews, then they'll go to Kings, then they go right back to book of Revelations, then they go all the way back to book of Genesis. Okay, Jalen reads, I truly believe myself and my kids got it good today compared to my grandparents who lived in a time when there were signs and that whites only. Yeah, you talking about the Great Depression movement back in those days. Not the Great Depression, but back in like 1950s and somewhere around that year. Yeah, that was terrible. That's crazy. But guess what? The racism is still in America. Now, my thing is, let's just say, for instance, America just strictly had a bunch of whites only, right? All the colored individuals are not in the U.S. The racism gonna start with them too, because then they're gonna be racist against blonde hair and blue eyed people. Then they're gonna be racist against brunette haired people with brown eyes. Then they're gonna be racist against a person that got hazel eyes and she got jet black hair. They're gonna be racist against a red hair that got green eyes. It's always going to be some form of racism somewhere. It's always going to be some form of racism, prejudice. That ain't going away. It's in dormant in this country forever. Let's see. OG reads, I haven't been into church in so long. I work on Sundays anyway. But yeah, most of the churches want a little bit. They just want your money. And then they already called you in to go to work, and you working like what, another extra hours on your off day. Then they expect you to go to church on Sunday. You ain't got time for that. And half of these churches are funded by the government. You know, and most of them do got YouTube channels too. The way they're doing it, they making money off that, and uh they got they got not PayPal, Patreon. They got Patreon. They gonna tell you to sow your seed, and your crops gonna be blessed. You're not gonna be blessed paying tithe. Don't give pastors all your money. I would stay out of them churches. These churches ain't teaching you nothing. These kids ain't learning nothing. They just sitting up there looking around like while a lady just running all over the church screaming like a spider just crawled up her dress or something. And you're just like, what in the world is going on? Is she okay? You know what they tell you? An older person will tell you, hey son, That's the Holy Spirit. And if you allow him in, you be doing that too. And I'm thinking to myself, like, so you mean to tell me the Holy Spirit does stuff like that? Got the pastor rebuking them and they falling on the floor, shaking and stuff, and putting towels all over them, and I'm just thinking, I don't know. That's not what I read in the Bible. If if God is not an author of confusion, but peace, love, and a sound of mind, right? And I'm in church and I'm looking at ladies running all over the place, screaming, shaking up and down, jumping, speaking in tongues, and all of this crazy stuff. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, the math ain't mathing. Then you got to stay in church for 6 hours plus. That's like your whole entire day. And then they keep escalating it up. Pastor looked like he about to pass out in a heart attack, sweating all over. His suit and the sweat is bleeding through his. The sweat is bleeding through his suit. And he over there, ha. You ever notice they be doing that? Ha. And I told you. Ha. Let's see. The church has turned into a profit machine today. Back in the day, pastors were getting money, but they still care about the community and lived in the community. Today's pastors got mansions, jets. Yeah, they do. They got jets, mansions, everything. Yes, you're right, Jalen. That's facts. Yep. But they want you to come to church. They be passing around the golden collection plate. I remember one time when I was in church. I remember the pastor said this. It was in the state of Alabama. The name of the church I went to was Daystar Family Church. Pastor Scott used to be a pastor there. I would never forget when he said this. He said, and I quote, "You all need to start reading your Bibles because I could be sitting here telling you lies." And this was, yeah, a pastor that said this. So I just tell people, all this praying and worshiping, reading the Bible, you can do that on your own time. You don't need to go to a church for that. The only reason they want you to go to church, like I said, they want you to put some money in that golden collection plate. I did a horror story about the pastor watches with greedy eyes as the gold collection plates moves through the pews, fueled by desire that giving money is the only way to solve one's demons. When the ancient copper coin hits the velvet lining like a sickening thud, etched in the portrait of the pastor himself. When the pastor stands up and says, "Who mocked him?" the entire congregation stands in haunting unison, and echoes whisper in the rafters, reminding himself that he sold their souls for gold, and now they have come back to collect the interest. That is a story I wrote. And for those of you that like horror stories, check out Scattered Nightmares. That's my channel. Check out the one with the 45 subs. I have written stories about the collection plate and that people don't put in it how it destroys you, that you got to give up something in sacrifice. I done spooked the crap out of people about going to church. I've written stories on Reddit that done caused people to turn their world gray. Some of them couldn't even finish the whole story. That's how dark and scary it was. I had one comment told me, I said, "Nah, I ain't finna read this. This is gonna be running rent free in my head for the rest of my life." I'm back in my granny and mom's era. If someone from church got ill, the pastor was one of the first to come check on. Yes, I agree with you, Jalen. Check on them. You're not going to get today's. No, you're not. Especially if you're driving to church, right? And then you just got out of church. Everything is going great. You excited. You got to go home and drink some beer and look at the latest football rerun or the basketball reruns, or you gonna look at World WCW World Championship chat while you up there. You thinking about doing a celebration, calling the boys over on Sunday morning so y'all can go watch the wrestling, watch the latest basketball team or the NFL, only to find out that your engine stopped working, only to find out that your transmission is not is running out. It's not working or leaking. Only to find out that you know you 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 done got a flat tire out of nowhere, and you can't even. And then it's like you can't even fix your car. You ain't got the. To be honest, you ain't even got the tools. All your tools at the house, and it's about 1.3 miles away from your house. And I asked somebody. I said, "Can you go if you went to your pastor and ask your pastor, because I just talked about that in recent streams a month ago. If you go to your pastor today and ask your pastor, because see, back in the old days, yeah, your pastor does come and check up on you. If you needed something, the pastor always give you something. The pastor always help you. They will even have people put money in the collection plate just to help you out. But now in 2026, these pastors ain't trying to do nothing for the audience. They just sucking money out of them. I asked them, I said, with that happening, can you go and ask your pastor, hey, pastor, my motor broke down and, I ain't been getting enough hours on my job because my job cutting my hours down. And I was just wondering, if you're able to kind of, help me out, something like, you can help me out with a couple of extra dollars. I guarantee you the pastor gonna look at you and then start quoting scriptures. Seek seek him and seek ye and you seek him and ye shall find. And that's all you gonna get. A scripture. They ain't gonna help you. If you out there and let's say your house got destroyed by a bad storm or a flood that just came by, can you go to your pastor and ask your pastor for help in 2026? No, you can't. Back in the old days, oh yeah, they help you out. It's sad. Then I asked one person one time because one person suggested me that I should go to church. This was like a year ago. So I asked him a question. I said, "So is going to a church, is that the only place to go and meet people?" The Christian person said, the churchgoer person says, "Well, you don't want to go to the bar." I never said anything about going to the bar. I'm just asking, is going to church the only place you can meet people? Is there other places besides going to a church? And I still ain't got the answer to that question yet from the people that I spoke to in real life. They'll sit around and tell you Jesus loves you. They'll sit up there and sit down with the Bible and talk to you about stuff. They'll try to Bible bash you instead of being a blessing towards you. I've been to a lot of churches. I've been to TD Jakes. I've been to Creflo Dollar's church. I've been to Benny Hinn. You guys know Benny Hinn, the guy on TBN Trinity Broadcasting Network back in the 90s? We were doing them long ass crusades that lasted from 6 to 12 plus 16 hours. Yeah, I've been to one of them. When I was a kid, I was 16 years old at that time. I was tired as fuck. I was like, man, come on, man. I'm ready to get the hell up out of here. When we getting ready to go? They sitting up here throwing these holy hands like this. And I'm just sitting up there like, you be trying to stand on one toe. You be leaning on the other seat, on the back of the seat, because you just tired. They have your ass standing all fucking day. I'm like, damn, I'm ready to go home. Shit. Then when you get out of church, they be like, did you have a good time? I had a great time. I'm like, I didn't have no time. I was tired as fuck. I'm ready to go home. Fuck these damn churches. Jalen reads, most churches. Okay, let me see. Back in my granny and mom's era, if someone from church uh got ill, the pastor was the first to come to check on them. You're not going to get that today's pastor to do that unless you pay him to. But even if you do pay him, they ain't gonna help you. All they gonna do is quote a scripture. But yeah, you're right. Because, the church is not all about helping one another anymore. It's not all about saving souls anymore. The gospel and the ministry is a business. That's all it is. Jalen reads, most churches, especially in the inner city, nothing more than fashion show. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something too. You guys remember Pastor TD Jakes, right? His wife stood up on stage and shot a middle finger up on stage, telling the audience that he needed $2,500, $2,500 to sow the seed. Bishop Eddie Long. Y'all know who Bishop Eddie Long is. Was a pedophile messing with little boys. And I'm pretty sure y'all know Miss Paula White, a white lady that used to preach, right? Her husband was gay, having sex with another man. And of course, y'all know who Joel Osteen is, right? He got a bunch of gays and homosexuals in his church and ain't speaking up and ain't speaking about it. And he's gay himself. Y'all know who Joel Osteen is, don't you? I'm telling you. You want me to keep going? And if I told you about Creflo Dollar, it'll blow your mind. That's how crazy this situation is getting. Next thing you know, you see your pastor coming out of a hotel room because he done already done blew another woman's back out and he already married. It's a lot of crazy stuff goes on in the back. Y'all don't know about. Maybe a few other people may know. Yes, he is. And he's also a cheater. I've been to his church too. Oh yeah. And his church is located in Georgia. Creflo Dollar's church is located in Georgia. A big ass church. That whole church looked like a damn theater, a auditorium. That was the biggest church I ever seen in my life. The parking lot was about 5 football fields long. That church is about almost 10 football fields long. That's a big ass church. I live around the corner from Marvin Winans Church here in Detroit. They got yeah. When they got ATM machines there, it's time to bail. It's funny you brought that up because I just got done watching a YouTube video talking about that on somebody's channel. His name is Ringo TV Reactions. Check him out. He be exposing these pastors. Pastor Gino Jennings. Y'all know who Pastor Gino Jennings is, right? And them other pastors, when they be making the statements talking about money is coming to me now. Mo- Everybody, come on and say it with me now. Money is coming to me now. All that crazy stuff. Y'all remember back in them old days when they used to say that? They be telling you every time in the middle of the pastor when he preaching, somebody come and turn to your neighbor and tell him, I am a conqueror. I am a conqueror. Somebody turn to your neighbor and say, hey, my crops is gonna be blessed. And you just be like, why we gotta keep doing that? And you just be like, why we gotta keep doing that? Tell you, these people ain't who they think they are. And I'm gonna tell you another story. I love to tell you guys stories about my life because I have no shame in it. When I was homeless, when I lost my car and I was homeless for 6 years, and I was sitting up there on the front entrance of the hotel room, got nobody to help me, nothing. The maintenance lady that worked at the hotel told me that there's a church up the hill, and and she told me, she said that they're known for helping people to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you, OG. Now, my thing is, there's nothing wrong with making money, but the problem is these pastors are using God's people to do it, and you don't have to use people to do it. And that's what's going on right now. So I went up there to the church. The lady was in her car. She looked at me like I was going to attack her. And I told her, hey, ma'am, I was told you guys are known to help people in the community. And I was just wondering, who do I speak to that's in charge? She told me to go to the tent window, the metal door, and just wait till somebody to come out. So I wait for somebody to come out, right? I waited for somebody to come out. And the guy came out. And I said, hey, I was wondering, who do I talk to that's in charge? He's like, what do you need? Well, right now I'm having a hard time. I was told that y'all are known to help the community out, on hard times. And I was just wondering, you know, um, who do I speak to that's in charge? Oh, well, go to the exterior doors over there, and somebody should get with you shortly. I'll call them, let them know that you're up front. All right, thank you so much. I don't waited for almost a damn. I was waiting for like 20, 30, probably 40 minutes. Pretty much almost an hour if you want to be, overall with it. So I said, you know what? Let me just ring the doorbell. So I rang the doorbell, right? I rang the doorbell. So when I rang the doorbell, somebody showed up. Now, I don't know if he was a pastor or whoever, I don't know. So I brought him in, told him my situation, told him, that rumors are saying that you're known for helping people within the community, and told him I lost everything. And I was staying in a hotel and I couldn't afford to keep paying on it. So I lost that. So now I have nowhere else to go. And I was just wondering if you can help me out. So he asked me, what do you need help with exactly? And I said, well, I just need a roof over my head. And I was wondering if you can help me out with that, or maybe it's some program that I can, that you can point me to that can help me out, right? Even though I did my research and all the programs in the state of Alabama was not built to help men, like men out there that are going through this. It was mostly for drunk people and for females. They get all the benefits and all the government assistance. They get everything. There's nothing that's going to be supportive for the men, especially the men that are trying and still going through it. Nothing. It's only for the women. The women gets pampered and everything. We don't get nothing. We have to get it out of the mud, right? So he asked me for my name and phone number. So I gave it to him. And he said, we'll contact you as soon as we get together and come to agreement. Didn't even tell me when or nothing. So I went to the Waffle House and I stayed there for 2 nights because I had nowhere else to go. I had no family supporting me. I got rejected from my family. My father don't even call me up, say, hey, son, hey, boy, what's going on? Nothing. So I was a security guard at the time. And then I met another homeless guy. He was telling me that most of these churches are the whorehouses. And I said, well, that is new. I never looked at it like that. I just looked at it as churches are just, like you said, Jalen, a money profit machine. This man, Gabe, tried to give me some money to give me something to eat. Mind you, this man is homeless. This man was sleeping at the back of the gas station. And I told him, I said, look, I do appreciate the money, but you don't really have to give me no money like that. It's just, I've been so used to doing stuff on my own for so long. It's just so weird to ask for help anymore. You know? It's like you have to carry the whole burden and the world on your shoulders without nobody to help you, nobody to be in your corner, to be your support system, nothing. And I've been going through it, right? So he insisted, he offered, and I said, okay, well, I didn't feel good about it because it's just like, how are you giving me money and you homeless too? You need that more than I do. Took it, got some breakfast with it, got something to eat. And my boss from my security guard job told me that they canceled the contract at the hotel that I was working at, which it made no sense why they signed up for security, but then all of a sudden they don't need them anymore, right? It was a nice hotel. It was a Marriott Courtyard hotel. All I had to do was sit up at the front, watch everything that's going on. I can get on my computer, do some homework. Then I patrolled around the hotel room, around the hotel, and I just walk around, make sure everything's okay. Most of the time, it ain't nothing going on. I was working from 11 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock in the morning, 11, I think it was like 11:30 p.m. at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. And the church never got back with me. They just ghosted me. they ghosted me. And I really needed the help at that time. Let me see. OG reads For the Love of Money. Yep, that's facts. Jalen reads, let's see, you know him from the Taylor Perry, I Can Do Bad All By Myself. And him and his sister Cece had albums in the 90s. They was on Martin a couple of times. Let me see. Oh yeah, yeah. And my thing is too with Medea. My thing is this man is dressed up like a female when he can find another actor to do that. He don't need to be dressing up like a female just to be, to be funny and act, whatever. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy. But these churches don't care nothing about nobody else. And then you got prejudiced people that are already in church. Time you go to church, they looking all at you from the pews like this. And then you get the same looks that you get when you else and about or you on your job. When you pass by people and they be like, you be like, and they just keep on going by instead of being like, hey, what's going on? So, and then there was Holy Communion. I'm telling you, these pastors are crazy. Then you got your mom sending you gospel videos and stuff that's hour long and sending fear mongering stuff, you know, and you just like, I don't want to watch all of that. There's too much enough going on in the world as it is to keep going through all of that. And then you got to sit and watch all of this stuff too. And the church people ain't supportive. Ain't nobody supportive anymore. It's almost like the TV show The Walking Dead and the survival of the fittest. You know? And then some of the same people that you go to church with, they be the main ones getting you fired from the same job you work at. Chaos, do you watch Alaska News? How's the crime rate? Uh I haven't really watched the news. Um the crime rate is high up here. Um we have a lot of people that's going missing, men and women. We got a bunch of pedophiles. We have, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to keep. Hold on. I can remember early 200s when all the big names pastors were saying they're not having none of that LGBT stuff in they churches by 08 they Plato got lit. They all changed their minds real quick. Yeah, now they starting letting homosexuals be in church. And then you gotta look at it, you got kids too that's going to church. They don't even know anything about that stuff. Then you got also churches that let's see. Yeah, it's really y'all heard of? Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Y'all know about Trinity Broadcasting Network, right? TBN, that big, huge gospel channel on TV. When you always got that lady sitting up there crying, she's always crying about something. I'm like, why is she always crying about something? She is always crying about something. It's never. I don't get it. It was just crazy. They had Benny Hinn, they had TDJ, they had everybody on there. I remember calling up there one time, and they had a whole organization going on. When I was donating some money up there to TBN at the time when I didn't know anything. And here's the thing that I noticed, and what has taught me is staying out of these churches and really just kind of sit back and kind of look at what's going on. You start to kind of open your eyes and you starting to see what's really happening. How brainwashed the people that are going to church, how they don't even have no discernment. They just sitting up there for 6 hours just listening to the preacher go over random scriptures. But what are they learning? They ain't learning nothing because half of them don't even do their own research. They don't read. Let me look up the crime rates right quick. You know, and they got this other church too that y'all don't know about. It's a Filipino church. It's called Church of Christ. It's called Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ. So any of the women that you choose to marry from that go to that church, you have to be converted to their religion. Not the most high, but to their religion. And then you got to go to church for like 6 months, and then you got to let them warp your brain and confuse you and let them tell you a way of how they believe in the Most High and how they view things, and you got to understand it from their point of view. It's like a girl telling you she's an outdoor person while you're out on a date, right? While you're trying to get to know her. And it's like she's expecting you to like be in outdoors just as much as she does. That's how this church is. It's all over. It's in your state, my state. It's all over everywhere. It's in other countries. It's global. And I told a friend of mine in the Philippines, I said, these pastors only care about your money. I said, if you sick and you need medicine and your boss ain't paying you, because in the Philippines, the ladies, it's hard for them to find the job there because the people there in the Philippines, they if you're like if the lady is like in her mid 30s or transition in her 30s, she's not really going to be considered hired for a job because they want the really supple, the early eight, the early 20s and they want the early 20 age women to be part of their company, right? And I told her, I said, could you ask your pastor for some medicine to help, rather if it's your father or yourself? Can you do that? She didn't say nothing. I said, that'll rest my case. But you got a lot of people that still go to these churches. They don't have no discernment. I got people coming into my chat to myself, do you know that Jesus loved you? Instead of being like, hey, I want to be a blessing to you. Here's a couple of dollars in the cash app. Hey, I'm gonna buy your shirt. I really like this design. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people over and over, this is not a gospel channel, but we're talking about some real shit. And we doing it right now. Let's see. Yeah, it's getting tough out here now. And it's even bad when the church is all about supposed to help people. They're all about money now. They don't care nothing about trying to help nobody else. They're all about money. That's all they care about. They're just for the money. What's up, social school, social flourishing? I've been all right, man. Just talking about some real shit, and you know, these jobs are cutting hours and overworking their employees. That's pushing them into calling out, and most jobs are calling them in on their off days, and they can't even get no rest. It's crazy. I mean, but other than that, I'm hanging in there, just out here, just exposing and really just kind of giving my relatable stories to other people. It's just trying to do what I need. Excuse me. By the way, school flourishing, you should check out my new T-shirt. Oh, what's up, Ryan? I barely know who you are. You keep changing your name. Let's see, it's Ryan. Yeah, I remember you now. Yeah. How's things going with your situation, man? I remember you were telling me about your wife, and she, you know, putting you in a difficult position. And, for those of you guys that's in the chat, I'm gonna have to talk a little lower because everybody's sleeping, and I don't want to get in trouble. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Let me see. Let me go ahead and change everything on my live stream right quick. And I also did a thumbnail for the same shirt that I made. Thanks for checking in, man. No change with my wife. She still wants. So I don't know what the future is going to be look like. Are you doing everything? I hope you're doing everything to get your at least to get your daughter. You know, fathers actually make better parents than mothers do. I hate that you're going through that. You know, I really hate that you're going through it. Telling you, when it comes to these relationships, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna tell you right now, you might as well just already consider America is going into already in recession at this point. You know, Okay, let me see. Thanks for checking in. Negotiate. I'm recently to good to negotiate at all, so I don't. Well, like I said, Ryan, your your family and your grandmother or whoever that has your house. Like I said before, do not give up your house. Okay, that is not for her to take. She's your wife, but your grandmother's house that she entrusted to you, it stayed, whatever that's been passed down stays with the family. That's the only thing I can tell you. Do not give your wife that house. Yeah, use the courts, man. Use the courts to do whatever you can, at least to get your daughter. Let's see, Ryan reads, advice, Ryan, use the courts to your advantage. 14 years ago, I got both my kids. I've had custody ever since. There's no reason to argue with today's woman. I agree. Yeah. Just don't try to don't even try to negotiate with her. You know, do everything you can to get your kids back, to get your child back. Like I said before, fathers, they make way better parents than the mothers. They make way better parents than the mothers. Appreciate that, man. More. I got arrested and she got my kid. Since then, everyone is saying I can see my kid, but she won't let me and she wants me to sell. I inherited from my family and she wants 100% of the money from the sale of the house. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I know what she's trying to do. She's using she's using your child to manipulate and get what she wants out of you. Don't do that. Do not give up your family's house. Whatever happens in the family, it stays in the family. You got to really, and think about all the hard work that your grandmother put in just to leave something behind for you. I never had that when I came up. I wish I had a grandmother that left something for me. You know, I had parents that left something for me. It'd be nice though. I ain't have nobody to leave nothing for me. Not even my father has nothing for me. And I'm the only child he got. He don't even call to check up on me. But you're very fortunate. And whatever you do, don't give up your house. Just try to, did you use the courts to try to, switch that around? It's got to be something. Because she can't just sit there and take your house. Not that you're giving it to her, but, in today's women, they're just manipulative. It's all about them and what they want. And see, they wonder, Ryan, get yourself an attorney that specializes in domestic matters. That is the key to making everything backfire on her. Yeah, that's true, Jalen. Yeah, I agree with Jalen here, Ryan. Try to try to get an attorney or something like that. That's the only thing I can tell you to do on that. Because I never had that experience, but yeah, try to get Let's see. I'm waiting to see if the police charge me or not. They'll know what to do with the house. I'm willing to give her 50% and move on. I wouldn't even give her 50%. Yeah, but don't give up your house, man. That's your grandmother. That's something she left for you, not for your wife, man. Let's see. Then I'll fight for my daughter, but I'll know if the police charge me. I don't want to get more stress in my life with the courts as much as I really miss. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Going through the court system is a stress reliever within itself. I totally get what you're saying. I'll be right back. Yeah, just yeah, I agree with Ryan. Just get you an attorney, man, and just explain to your attorney like everything that you're going through. That would be the best solution for all of this. That would be your best bet. That would be your best bet. I'm hoping they didn't charge you. I'm hoping they didn't, so you can move on to the next step. Telling you. Sorry about that. It's crazy. I hated that men gotta go through all this. And then they wonder why these men are checking out. It's too much going on. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. In this day and age now, you got to be careful who you really getting with. I just overheard a conversation. The crazy landlord was having a conversation about this other chick, you know, which I'm gonna reveal. Oh shoot, sorry about that. Which I'm gonna reveal later on this evening when I go live again. I got the recording and everything, featuring two self-entitled women. Hold on for a second. I hate this. Jalen, let's see, reads Ryan, if you're not married, she has no say. So, about the house, not even a judge would say anything about the house. Yeah, that's true. Jalen's right about that. Hardest thing is the wait. The arrest was 7 months ago, and I have not been able to move forward since. But society thinks, oh, you're able to do whatever you want still. No, you're not. Not when you know. Not when you don't know. I said on my message, man, that we are married. Okay, well, if she married. If you're married to her, that's even more crazy. What you should, not that it. I don't even know if that even matters anymore now. But you should have just signed, get her to sign a prenup before you had kids with her, or before you even married her. Because if you get her to sign a prenup and she refuses to do that, that's already a red flag. It works every time. Because, see, a prenup will protect you and your assets and everything that you own or your family own. But you know as well as I do, these women are not going to sign up for it. They're going to be like, oh, but you can trust me. And then you trust them, and then she end up screwing you over in the end. Even if you're married, the judge can make you pay a money amount alimony or child support, but they won't damn you sell your home. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially if her name is not on the lease for the house. Did you put your wife's name on the mortgage? Well, if they just need money, if they just need money, Ryan, I can understand that. The judge is not going. They going they gonna incentivize something for women. You know, because they with the daughter with kids and everything. But as long as you're not giving up your house, that's the only thing. But most of the law advice that I'm getting is saying she won't get no more than 60% from me. Take her to court. All those decisions concerning money, your home, and anything else, you all contain together. The decisions concerning money. Yeah, I would say take that to court. Speak with the officials that actually knows what's going on. Don't listen to advice to people that are outside of the courts. Because everybody ain't going through the same thing you're going through, Ryan. hmm Yeah, the court systems are different in the UK. But yeah, of course, man. Anytime. That's what this channel is for. You know, a home that people can go to, right? If it's for encouragement, to vent, or whatever you need that's going on. That's why I built this channel. I like to help people and relate to people of what they're going through. Now, it may be, when it comes to marriage and stuff like that, but I do my best to help when I can and relate to everything. I don't backpedal, I don't do anything. I tell it like it is. But don't be listening to other people. Just go to court, talk with whoever you need to talk with, you get your lawyer, and I think your lawyer will explain a lot of stuff to you and just go from there. Exactly. Yeah. Do that, Ryan. Try to try to get her in court. Just get it set up and do it. Do it now before things get worse. If she needs money, fine, cool. But your house, mm-mm. And if your wife's name is not on the mortgage, if it's not on the anything along with your name, everything else, you're just trying to get your daughter back. Do what you can to get your daughter back. Go to court. And just if you decide later on in the future, I don't even know. I don't even think there is going to be a future. The way this world is running. I don't think it's going to be a future. Sorry about that, guys. My sinus is acting up today. I need to get some Zyrtec or something. Yeah, I think the way the court system is, I think it works differently in the UK than it is in the US. I could be wrong though, but you know. But regardless, try to do what you can to get your daughter back. Do what you can. Do what you can. I'm just gonna go ahead and stop sharing this because this is. Yeah, just try to do what you can to get your daughter back, man. Go to court and get them to try to work something out. Most today's women, yeah, they do. That's why that day, I'm be telling y'all, I've been talking about this since 2018. I know exactly what you're talking about, Jalen. I've had dudes that come up to me and told me some crazy stories about the women that they were with. I done heard some stories that'll probably blow your mind if I told you about them. It'll blow your mind. I wonder what's going on with with the likes. I had over 6 and it went down to 3. Interesting. Yeah, they do. Okay, let me see. Jalen reads, most of today's women want to argue back and forth and with them, but when you don't and that attorney starts hitting with that paperwork, their whole attitude and outlook change. Yeah, that's true, Jalen. You're right. Mm-hmm. They'll change their tune real quick when that paperwork come around. At that point, they gonna know that you ain't playing. She gonna really know you mean business. Play your cards right. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's just time is too short. Life is too short. And sometimes you gotta say enough is enough. Well, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. I thank you guys for supporting and um tuning in. I'll go live later on this evening, and if you haven't, check out my new T-shirt. All right, man. And if you guys haven't, check out my new T-shirt, the 9 to 5 Trap. If you want to get you some merch, for those of y'all that want to represent, uh, um, I'll be back with some more content later on this evening. You guys take care.